me give you a quick update of what is happening. Due to illness, my criminal trial was delayed by 2 weeks. But on Tuesday, February 27th, it will continue. The two witnesses that will be heard on that day are, one, the person who filed the criminal charges against me and who is in the process, in the self-destructive process of losing every last bit of credibility he might have ever had. The other witness is my former co-host, Viviane Fischer, whom the above-mentioned person threatened to sue for $1 million in December of 23. Currently, the criminal charges of having violated a fiduciary duty to take care of another person's monetary interests, which is, of course, the donors of the Corona Investigative Committee, seem to be evaporating into thin air. This is all depending, of course, on how important and how pervasive the political pressure is that's coming from behind. The only fiduciary duty we owed was the one spelled out in the bylaws of the Corona Committee and communicated to our donors when we asked them for donations. That is, to use that money solely for the purpose of investigating the Corona scandal. We would not get paid for our work, in particular not for conducting the interviews, and we would not receive any payments upon leaving the corporation, as the donations would continue to serve that purpose on a permanent basis. That is what we promised our donors and viewers. The crucial question is, therefore, if this fiduciary duty towards our donors and viewers was violated when we took some of the donations out of the bank account of the Corona Committee, or if this action was covered by the business judgment rule, which allows directors of a corporation much discretion, that is, gives us a lot of leeway, especially when there's a threat to the very existence of the corporation. We believe that it is clear for three reasons that our decision was covered by the business judgment rule. One, we didn't take the money secretly and not to increase our personal wealth at the expense of the Corona Committee. Rather, we did it openly through clear loan contracts, which means we were obligated to repay the loan to the Corona Committee. And these loans were transparently listed in the Corona Committee's books. Two, there was an imminent danger of our bank account getting attached by the authorities, that's by the district attorney's office, as we were informed by Professor Susharit Bhakti's group that their bank account had just been attached. At the same time, the directors and shareholders of the Corona Committees were already under investigation as our bank accounts were being canceled by the banks who had informed the authorities of possible money laundering. I had, in fact, as shown in the DA's files, informed all shareholders and the inner circle of the Corona Committee of this threat by email, without, however, getting any response from the two inactive substitute shareholders / directors who filed the criminal charges against us. The third reason why our loans were not a violation of the fiduciary duty to take care of our donors' financial assets is that we were both willing and able to repay the loans. The district attorney decided this with respect to Viviane Fischer when he stopped investigating her in April of 23 after hearing her side of the story. And the court decided this with respect to me after they had finally heard my side of the story in a ruling dated January 9th, 2024. The court understands that I, as the international face of the Corona Committee, was in the process of using all the evidence we had collected through our interviews in international legal proceedings, which our group of international attorneys and I were working on, and that I was doing everything in my power to make the findings of the Corona Committee public on an international level. So that there was absolutely no reason for me to destroy these activities and, of course, my reputation by not repaying the loan. The court also understands that I would have repaid the loan as planned with the proceeds of the sale of my house. The only reason I didn't do it is because that money was stolen by the three people who filed the criminal charges against me, stolen by way of fraud and extortion. We filed a criminal complaint against those three crooked attorneys in mid-December of 23 and are now waiting for a response from the DA's office. Let's see if the district attorney scrutinizes their bank accounts as thoroughly as he did ours. By the way, another district attorney had refused to start criminal proceedings against us already in 2022. I'll give you the details of this. In her ruling, and she knew everything, she had all the facts back then. In her ruling, she wrote on June 14th, 22, against this backdrop, there's not enough evidence that the founders of the Corona Committee or any other of those involved in its activities intended, as it would be necessary for starting criminal proceedings, from the start to ask for donations under the guise of the Corona Committee without delivering what they promised. This is true even if such donations were collected in excess of what was necessary for their work, and if such donations were used for other purposes for which there is currently no evidence, especially as other such investments may have been in the best interest of the Corona Committee, or to use them for purposes of the Corona Committee at a later time. So that's what she wrote in 2022. Let me continue and finish. I told you we filed a criminal complaint against those three crooked attorneys in mid-December. Let's see what's going to happen. Apart from my personal situation, the international crises in Ukraine and in Israel-Palestine seem to be coming to a head. And the economic collapse of Europe, especially of Germany, is obvious for everyone. The question is how long the people, in particular the Germans, will continue to remain silent. Justice will come, however. Both the international lawyers, myself, and of course all of you who were supporting me with your letters and postcards in an almost magical way, stand for this. I continue to read everything. Here are 6 more of my favorite songs. One is George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, and his wonderful Summertime from Porgy and Bess. Then there's the OJ's Love Train and Backstabbers. And then there's Journey, Don't Stop Believing, and Only the Young. See you soon.